It's a grim Friday night in suburban London. Dave, who always scorns her given name, Davina, scrolls through messages that sting more than she lets on. The latest, a triangle of three girls, and Dave is the low point, the other woman who never quite mattered. But tonight, fueled by frustration and raw honesty, she decides it's time to rewrite her story. Starting with the awkward, electrifying moment of losing her virginity at 18, she's ready to spill everything. But what she's about to reveal. It flips the script on every cliché you thought you knew about love, sex, and power. Dave wasn't your typical IT geek. Beneath the code and screen glare, a fierce personality brewed. But how does being boring hide the wild truth beneath? Let's dive into her first tangled romances. At 18, Dave's first time isn't a Hollywood romance. It's a messy, fumbling night in her cramped bedroom in Croydon with Tom, a guy who thought he knew what he was doing but clearly didn't. She remembers how the lights went out unexpectedly, plunging the room into silence, leaving her both embarrassed and oddly exhilarated. That lost moment creates a lingering question. Was it the experience or the awkwardness that defined her? Think of Dave's IT nerd persona like a vintage computer, dusty on the outside, with code that can hack any system under the hood. Society flags nerds as predictable, safe, and yet beneath that stereotype lies a raw, unpredictable force. Like a secret algorithm that suddenly reveals a viral hack, Dave's story shocks us, exposing how labels trap and limit people way too much. Owning her story turns Dave from victim to author. Instead of shrinking back, she flips the narrative, realizing the boring nerd is just society's shorthand, a flimsy mask she wears strategically. This transformation reveals the core lesson. Your labels don't define you, your courage to tell your truth does. It's not just about sex or love, it's about reclaiming your identity, bold, messy, and beautifully human. Three girls, one messy love triangle, and Dave stuck at the bottom rung. It wasn't just jealousy, it was a battleground of hurt ego and hidden schemes. What sparked this chaos? Let's look behind the scenes. Dave found herself tangled with Nina and Claire, two girls who'd secretly linked up with the same guy, Mark. At a damp pub in East London, she overhears a sharp conversation that labels her just the filler. That moment, bitter and sharp, becomes a vivid trigger, like being kicked out of a group you never wanted to join, leaving her wondering, who really controls the story here? Imagine emotions in a love triangle as a fuse burning faster, with every slight, angry words, half-truths, and betrayal acting like sparks igniting volatile powder. One wrong move, and it's an explosion. This mechanism explains why simple jealousy escalates into emotional warfare, leaving no one unscathed, yet everyone transformed. Dave's ultimate move is stepping out of the drama, not by winning or losing, but by choosing self-respect over approval. It's the moment she refuses to be defined by their judgments, turning the fire of rivalry into a furnace forging inner strength. This pivot reveals the unexpected payoff. Sometimes walking away is the most powerful way to win. Dave's world isn't just about lovers, it's about mastering complex systems, whether networks or relationships. What happens when her tech skills collide with her messy love life? Dave once used an intricate social engineering trick, usually reserved for hacking passwords, to decode the intentions of a mysterious new flame, Jamie. At a rooftop party in Soho, she subtly tested his reactions to sensitive questions, mapping his relationship protocols. The moment she uncovers a shocking lie sends her scrambling. Would this discovery change everything, or just reinforce what she already suspected? Relationships, Dave discovered, are like encrypted software. You need the right keys, trusted communication, timing, honesty, to unlock them. If you try to brute force with manipulation or secrecy, you'll trigger security alarms of mistrust. This analogy unpacks how tech principles mirror emotional dynamics, making Dave's double life feel less disjointed and more like hybrid expertise. Her breakthrough, accepting that true mastery isn't about controlling others but about showing vulnerability. Once she openly shared flaws and fears with Jamie, the relationship shifted, becoming less about secrets and more about connection. This radical honesty didn't weaken her, it made her irreplaceable. The payoff? that authentic bonds outperform any scripted interaction or coded strategy. Dave has been branded boring, but that's exactly the lie she's here to shatter. How does she untangle herself from that cage and kickstart a revolution of self-worth? In a small cafe near King's Cross, Dave confronts a colleague who dismissively calls her the boring girl yet again. This time, instead of shrinking, Dave fires back with a sharp, witty monologue exposing how that label is based on insecurities, not reality. The atmosphere shifts. Others start nodding. Respect surfaces from shock. A seed is planted, not just for Dave's transformation, but for anyone boxed in by unfair tags. Think of those labels like invisible chains, forged from society's fears and outdated ideas. Dave's breakthrough is like a blacksmith breaking those chains with a hammer called confidence. It's messy, noisy, and takes time, but each blow frees a piece of her true self, unabridged and unashamed. The result: Dave's new identity isn't about fitting in, but standing out with unapologetic pride. This self-acceptance radiates and rewires her relationships, attracting people who see her real worth instead of the boring mask. It's proof that authenticity is magnetic and resilience is the new sexy. Dave's story isn't just about lost love or broken hearts. It's about flipping the script on what it means to love and be loved. Ready to see love from a fresh, fierce angle. Dave recalls a brutally honest conversation with her ex, Sarah, in a chilly corner of Camden Market. Sarah wanted a fairy tale script, but Dave refused to play the assigned part. Instead, she demanded relationships that fit real life, not romance novels. That clash felt like tearing down an old painting. Sad, yes, but necessary to make space for a new masterpiece yet unseen. Imagine love as a game where the rules keep changing, but you're given no manual. Dave realized she needed to write her own playbook, defining what's okay and not okay, what's deal-breaker and what's negotiable. This mechanism shows how personal boundaries aren't just walls, they're frameworks creating safety and freedom simultaneously. The payoff: once Dave embraced imperfections, in herself and her partners, she experienced deeper intimacy and less stress. Love stopped being a contest of perfect performances and started becoming a messy, joyful collaboration. This radical shift liberates us all. Love isn't about flawless stories but genuine connection, every flawed, beautiful step of the way. Remember that night in Croydon when the lights went out? That awkward, flawed moment wasn't just about losing virginity. It was the first chapter in Dave's war against being boring and misunderstood. She teaches us all how to claim our stories, break free from toxic dramas, and rewrite the rules of love on our own terms. So, next time someone tries to box you in, light your own fuse of courage instead. Try this: write down one label you've let define you, and then burn it with a radical new truth. Your story isn't over, it's just getting interesting. Subscribe for more book summaries like this one.